What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller back again. Hey, what a fun time to be a sports fan, right? It's the off season, you know, the NBA season's underway, March Madness is around the corner, NFL draft is around the corner. I've been watching a lot of film, trying to get up to speed on these NFL prospects. So we will hit on, some of these NFL players I like and hope the Niners draft here coming up. But we'll get to that a little later. First, we'll start off talking Warriors, Lakers, because hey, that's what I watched today. It was on ABC. What a debacle at the end of that game. It was a clown show. Shot clock didn't work 4 times in a row. Anyway, Warriors pulled it out. They won that 128-121. But hey, let's say what's up to the chat before we break down this Warriors Lakers game. And it's Shardal. What's up, Shardal? Nice that you said, hey, how's your night going? I'm feeling good. Thanks for stopping by. E. Kim, always a pleasure. So in that first quarter of this Warriors-Lakers game, Steph Curry, 0 points. He's coming back from the ankle. He did look a little bit hobbled. Maybe he wasn't moving quite as good as but he still performed. Still had a good game. But Jonathan Kuminga in that first quarter really kept the Warriors in that thing. He finished with 23 points on the game, majority in that first quarter, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. Kuminga just keeps getting better and better. His evolution is going to be the key to the Warriors' success in the playoffs. And when I say that right now, Warriors and Lakers are tied for the 9th seed. It's looking like they're going to be in that play-in, which anytime you're in the play-in, it's a little bit risky, right? When you're playing 1-game, 2-game series to advance. That being said, man, I can't count these Warriors out. Let me know in the comments. Is it a wrap for the Warriors? I'm still holding out a little bit of hope. I think they got a puncher's chance at, making a run deep into the playoffs. So let me know in the comments if I'm crazy for thinking that. But the Warriors have been playing a better brand of basketball these last couple months post All-Star break. So, Klay Thompson, freaking awesome. This was like vintage flashback Klay Thompson. He filled it up with 26 points, efficient 5 of 10 from distance, 4 boards, 3 assists. Like I said, it was a vintage Klay. Chris Paul did his thing, finished with 8 points, 4 assists. But really, fellas, the biggest key for the Warriors, 7 turnovers for the game. That's awesome. That's taking care of the basketball. Normally, this team, last time I checked, they're averaging like 15, 16 turnovers a game, which is on the high end for the NBA. So 7 turnovers, that's taking care of the rock. And then you got 14 offensive rebounds. That's showing me you're attacking the glass, you're playing hard. Tonight, it was a team effort. Kuminga, Klay, Steph, those were the big three performers, I would say. And then we're getting more and more Trace Jackson Davis, who he's really been impressive, offensively, defensively, finishing above the rim. DNP's tonight, Kevon Looney, DNP. Trace Jackson Davis is deservedly so, taking Looney's minutes. Hey, let's see what's going down in the chat. Jay in the Bay. Thanks for stopping by. I know, hey, Monday, I'm ready, Jay. Stay tuned. Might be a Straight Out of the Bay show on Monday. So for the audience, stay tuned. Mark, the end of the Warriors-Lakers game was embarrassing. The league is lucky no player got hurt from standing around. Yeah, that was like a 10, 15-minute delay. And there were just slow reviews, right? I understand, okay, you want to review the play, but let's expedite this. It shouldn't take 5, 6, 7 minutes to review if Draymond stepped out of bounds or if LeBron's heel, it was pretty clear that the heel was out of bounds. So why does it take 5 minutes to make this call? So there were multiple stoppages for that. Then the shot clock just stops working, 4 times in a row. They tried to start it and it ain't working. Hey, that being said, Warriors pulled it out. I can't count out these dubs, man. Um, but hey, the play-in is risky business, and that's where it's looking like they're going to finish up. What, less than 20 games left? They're tied for the ninth seed with the Lakers. Looking at it, they're 3.5 games back of Sacramento for those top six, for that top six seed where you would avoid the play-in. So I think they're going to be in that play-in, but I'm not counting the dubs out. Just to kind of put a bow on the Warriors before we move to 49ers and their offseason and their transactions, because they've been making some moves. So we'll get to that here in a second. Pajemski, 5 points, 2 of 4 from the field. But if you watch Pajemski, like, his impact doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Like, he has drawn more charges than the majority of teams in the NBA. Let me say that again. Pajemski has drawn more charges than the majority of teams in the NBA. Drew another one tonight. I mean, that just extra possessions for your squad. Tremendous rebounding guard. Like, he attacks the glass, and I love that, because that's something you can bring every night, is that energy, right? Can you make every shot? No. But can you attack the glass and play and be a high energy player? That's something you can control. So, and Pajemski, he does that well. So happy to see him perform. Gary Payton was the only other player that I haven't touched on. Only 7 minutes, but I thought he had an impact. Yeah, he hit a corner three. And Wiggins was solid. He was good in the first quarter, finished up with 16. But Wiggins, he's been picking it up a little bit too. So this Warriors team's playing a better brand of basketball, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs. I still give them a puncher's chance. Hey, Chardal says he's not calling it a wrap on the Warriors season. So I'm with you, Chardal. Who do you think the Dubs will play in the play-in wild card game? It might be a little too soon, Jay, to preview, to make that prediction. Is it going to be Dallas? Is it going to be the Lakers again? It feels like we've been seeing the Lakers, in these past few postseasons. Obviously, they got the better of us last year. What's up, B? Thanks for stopping by. He said tonight will be the type of rotation the Warriors will use in the play-in. 9 played in total, but only 7 played more than 20 minutes. I agree. I noticed that. I do like the depth of this Warriors team, but tonight they shortened it, right? Moses Moody had been getting some minutes recently, I feel like, but hey, not tonight. Dario Saric, he sometimes he mixes in. I know he's been on the back end of the rotation, but no Saric tonight. Lester Quinones, we'd seen him. Like, Kerr gave Quinones a shot, I feel like, the few games before this, to see, hey, what can you do, Lester? If you ball out, you might earn some more minutes. I think Lester, he didn't make the most of that opportunity. So he got the DNP tonight. But I agree with B. Come playoff time, rotation shorten, and it's similar to what we saw tonight. Yeah, that's all I got on Warriors. So let's transition over to 49ers, right? 49ers have been making moves. The biggest move, I would say, is getting Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, we know this guy. He's played against us for years, right? When he was with the Rams. He gave us problems too. I remember him having, multiple sack games against us. Speed rusher. That's what I love about Leonard Floyd. He's going to provide this element of speed opposite Bosa. So you're going to have speed off the edge, and Bosa's going to be collapsed in the pocket. I like that combo. Leonard Floyd, he's consistent, right? It's like the last 4 years, you've seen the stat, 9+ sacks each year, the last 4, like, that's consistent. He's a talented pass rusher. And there's the other defensive lineman, the other defensive end they brought in, Yetur Gross Matos. And what I'll say about Gross Matos is I think he was misutilized in Carolina. Like he was an outside linebacker, right? They're playing a 3-4. So they're dropping him into coverage. Like Gross Matos shouldn't be dropping into coverage. And they dropped him into coverage over 50 times. I looked it up on PFF just this past season. 50 times he's in zone coverage. It's not going to be how the 49ers utilize Gross Matos, who, coming out of Penn State, he was an early pick in the second round. He's got all the measurables, 6'5". He's got these long arms. Like he was in the 89th percentile of his position, in arm length. So, and I know the Niners look at that. They look at those measurables and they love long arms. It kind of just helps keep blockers at bay, grabbing quarterbacks. So Gross Matos has the length. He's got the measurables. The production hasn't quite been there. So it did feel like what the $9 million per for the 2 years that the Niners are paying him might feel a tad bit high, but obviously they see something in him. And I see it too. Like he moves well for being 6'5" and just a bigger body defensive end. You can see he's got a fluidity to him where he moves well for a big guy. So the Niners, they're expecting a big impact. He's coming off his best season. We're talking Gross Matos from the Panthers. One off 4.5 sacks, I believe. That was his best year. PFF didn't love him, but like I said, I think he was misutilized with the Panthers. But let's check in on the chat. Yeah, B said Pods play a team out 35 minutes. And he played all 35 minutes hard. He gets after it. That's what I appreciate about B Pods. Shout out to Los. You said I had to come in with your bruh, handle it, EA. Appreciate that, Los, stopping by. Hey, we're going to get to Malik Collins in a sec here, Shardall. Stay tuned on Malik. And then load the truth. You already know. I love how Kuminga goes to the basket. He's nice and only getting better. Absolutely. Really? Hey, Loda, he's showing me like all three phases of offense, right? He's getting to the rim. Like that's his biggest strength, right? His using his kind of brute force and his athleticism to get to the cup and finish. But he's also showing this mid-range game, right? You guys are seeing it. Like he feels comfortable in the mid-range. I think he's only going to get better in that department. And I think he's already pretty freaking good from the mid-range. And then tonight, 2 of 3 from distance. Like the shot isn't bad. Like, is he a sniper? Is Jonathan Kuminga a sniper right now? No. But it ain't broke. And the tools are there for Kuminga to be special. He keeps getting better and better. He's going to be the reason. If the Warriors make a deep postseason run, it's because Kuminga's averaging, 20 plus points per game. David Zamora, hey, thanks for stopping by. He said, what are you drinking? Right now, I got this Tangerine Express IPA, which I'm not a huge IPA guy, but the in-laws brought it over. I got some in the fridge. It's a little heavy, but it's got a good flavor. So Stone is the company. Not bad. I typically like my Mexican beers. The Modelo, the Corona. Those are kind of my go-tos. And then, yeah. And then the 805s. The blanking on it. The 805, the Cerveza. Those are my go-tos right there. But hey, every once in a while, IPA, has a nice flavor to it. A little heavy, but good flavor. So I gave you my spiel on Gross Matos. Niners obviously think they're going to improve his production coming over, utilize him in a better capacity. I think he's going to be your edge setter, right? Because when you got Floyd, you got Gross Matos. They're kind of contrasting, defensive ends. Leonard Floyd, speed rusher, like that. He's a big dude. Like he's 6'5", 6'6", but he's got tremendous burst. He's going to threaten the edge with speed. Then you got, Gross Matos, who's bigger, a little thicker, He's going to be your edge setter. Losty said, I love the moves on the D line. Got younger, got depth for reasonable amounts. Lynch has again done his job to have a talented roster. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Agree with that. Okay. So next, the two defensive tackles, all right? That being Jordan Elliott from the Browns, Malik Collins, the Niners trade a late round pick for him from the Texans. I got to watch more on these D tackles. That's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have seen, some little highlights here and there. Both of them look like they have some moves to get after the quarterback, like a quickness to them. Kind of the ability to hit him with that hezzy, hit the guard or the center with a little shoo shoo, kind of fake inside, go outside, that short area burst for a D tackle. Like both these guys have it from what I've seen. Uh, I know PFF didn't like him in the run game, but I also saw Malik Collins had a great like run stuffing metric. So I've seen some contrasting kind of analytics on these D tackles. I got to just go in and watch the film, watch some more. Like I've seen Malik Collins highlights, and dude, he's got some moves to get after the quarterback. Like Malik Collins, you know, he looks pretty good from what I've seen. So I can't wait to dive a little deeper. Really, I've been watching a lot of prospects, which we're going to talk about here soon. But I need to get more info on these two D tackles. Then Devondre Campbell. Devondre Campbell came in, just signed. Obviously after Kendrick spurned the Niners, going to the Cowboys and linking back up with Mike Zimmer, who I've been a big Mike Zimmer guy for a while. I think that was a good move by the Cowboys. But that being said, Devondre Campbell's a Niner. And I remember the first time I remember hearing about Devondre Campbell was actually on Madden. Had to be 6-7 years ago when he was with the Falcons. He's a linebacker for the Falcons, Campbell, and he has like 85 speed, and he's 6'4". Like he's a big dude, and he's like a really good user. So I was like, okay, he's a good Madden player. And also, I remember his zone rating was really high, so it's rare. He's got the speed, the height, his zone ability was so that kind of put him on the map for me early in his career with the Falcons. Was Madden, and then I've watched him ever since. He's just a really good football player. He had like a crazy year for the Packers a couple years ago. I think he was banged up. That might be why the Niners got him so cheap this year. But Devondre Campbell, he's a veteran. I think he's a darn good football player. Kind of in the similar mold to Kendricks, where yeah, they are a bit long in the tooth, but I still think they're productive, like starting caliber players. So how long is the Dre Greenlaw injury going to keep him out? For Dre's sake, don't rush it. We've seen a couple of these Achilles guys try to rush it, like Cam Akers felt like when he came back, it was too soon. The burst wasn't, what anyway. I think Campbell's a good signing. He's a veteran. He's a good football player. He's going to help this team in the linebacker department. Okay, last couple moves. Chase Lucas. I got to be honest, I don't know much about Chase Lucas, the DB. I believe we got him from the Lions, but Isaac Yadam. This dude, after we made the signing, a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? I put on it was just some highlights, just some cut ups. But dude, this dude Yadam is sticky. Like he'll get up there, he'll press you, and he's not giving up much separation. He's turning around to find the ball. It could be a sneaky signing. This guy Yadam. Like right now, Demo. Hey, Demo was serviceable outside. Like Demo, good slot, and he can play on the outside. But hey, maybe instead of kicking Demo out, maybe he focuses exclusively on the slot, and this guy Yadam might be starting opposite Charvarius Ward. We'll see. The draft still has to play out, which I really like some DBs. I really like some DBs in this upcoming draft. There's 5 or 6 of them that I would love to get at 31. So we'll get to some draft talk here very, very soon. That's the next topic. Is we're going draft talk. Maybe you guys want to mix in a mock draft because I'm the dummy paying for PFF, so I got access to the mock draft. So we'll see. We'll see where the night takes us, man. Hey, cheers. Happy Saturday. Hit that like because we got to get some more people in here. If we hit that like, more people fall in here. They're going to see it. They're going to come in. We're going to talk some ball. That's what we're doing. This is late night baller talk. So I appreciate every one of you that are watching. We're about to get in some NFL draft because that's what I've been doing. It's a hobby. I think it's fun. I like to watch these prospects. And the way I've been doing it this year is like position by position. I'm studying one position at a time and going in depth, at least like 20 guys deep at that position. The first position I looked at was offensive tackle. And I kind of started with positions of need with the Niners, right? So I started out with offensive tackle. This was before they re-upped Colton McKivitz. So let me get to my O-line notes here in the old trusty binder. The tackles, there's some really nice tackles in this class. I'm talking offensive line. Hey, chat's live. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Keep your comments coming. I'm gonna pull up some comments. Chardell's trying to talk some baseball. Not baseball, maybe at another day, Chardizzle. I'm going NFL draft tonight, but baseball in the future. Campbell was okay, but re-signing Flanagan Fowles I wasn't crazy about. I want to see Jalen Graham and D. Winters' talent used. I know what you mean, Los. It feels like the ceiling is higher with a Jalen Graham or a D. Winters. It's like because we've seen Flan, and I think Flan's solid. I think Flan's like a good linebacker 4. Like if he's your first guy off the bench, I'm cool with that. In a pinch, yeah, Flan, like he's solid. He can get the job done. But Jalen Graham, does he have the ability to be like a really freaking good linebacker? I kind of want to find out. D. Winters, we know he can fly around. The dude's got speed. So we'll see. They'll have their chance, in training. And I don't think Flanagan Fowles got a contract where if a Jalen Graham or a D. Winters does look really good, I think Flan's in his contract will allow the Niners to kind of cut ties. Need be. I do like Flan. I think he's a solid linebacker, like I said. But I kind of like Campbell. I think he's a good player. I know he's a little old, but good player. This Niners draft may be Shanny Lynch's most important. They can't miss with early picks. Please address O-line. I feel you. You want a center or a guard? Because I don't think at 31, I don't think a tackle is going to be there that I want, to be honest with you. And let's talk about the tackles right now because that's the list I'm looking at. Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. He's awesome. He's big time. Some players just look smart when you're watching the film. The way he's passing off defensive lineman. Joe Alt's awesome. We ain't getting him. He's a top 7, 8 pick. Then the number 2 tackle, I've been seeing consensus, Olumawa Fashanu. It's the kid from Penn State. I mean, he's uber athletic. Big time potential is what I see from him just with that size and that athleticism. Awesome pass blocker in PFF's metric. And it shows up on tape too, just because his ability to move his feet and his strength. But the third guy, man, I love this guy out of Oregon State, the big boy, Talise Fuaga. You guys let me know what tackles you guys like, but Talise Fuaga, man, that would be the dream right tackle for the Niners because he's awesome in the run game. He's good in the pass game, but he's awesome in the run game. Like, and the Niners like these right tackles that are good run blockers. Like McKivitz, better run blocker than pass blocker. Mike McGlinchey, he was a better run blocker than pass blocker. It's because they have an agility and a kind of a quickness to get to the second level to make blocks, you know, down the field. Whereas some of these bigger, slower offensive linemen, like a Trent Brown, remember Shanahan and Lynch, they had Trent Brown for 1 year. And Trent Brown, good pass blocker. Trent Brown, really good pass blocker. But in the run game, he's limited because he's so big, right? It was like 330. He's just not getting downfield to make some of these blocks that in the zone running scheme Shanahan wants you to do. Right? He wants you downfield, picking off a safety, picking off the outside linebacker. Trent Brown, not so good at it. That's why they let him walk. And that's why I don't expect the Niners to draft, a 340-pound tackle. Like unless they can move. If they can move, hey, then yeah. But most of these, if if you're 330 and can move, then you're a top 10 pick, is what it is. But I like Fuaga at Oregon State. Niners would have to move up probably about 15 to 20 spots to have a chance at Fuaga. So I don't anticipate that. I wouldn't completely rule it out though. And what that would take would be I'm not trading BA. So you'd trade your pick 31, your second round pick, and probably next year's first round pick. It's going to have to be next year's first round pick if you want to move up 15, 20 spots. It ain't cheap to trade up. I think I'd do it, man. For Fuaga, I'd give up this year's first round pick. I'd give up next year's first round pick. I'd throw in my second round pick this year. You want a 4-2? Okay. That's how much I believe in Fuaga. That being said, hey, you might think I'm crazy. Let's catch up on the chat. Let's catch up on the chat. Shardizzle, not tonight, but we'll link up. Yeah, we'll talk some ball soon. Mark Graves said, would you trade Ayuk in the 31st pick to Arizona for their number 4 pick? And is that enough to get the 4th pick? In division, we're going in division. Those in division trades, I feel like they rarely happen. Not that they don't happen. Man, I mean, who's the pick at 4? Marvin Harrison? Man, Marvin Harrison. Ayuk in the 31st pick for Marvin Harrison. That's tough. And I haven't like I know Marvin Harrison and I've seen some stuff on him, but I haven't told you I've been watching these prospects kind of position at a time. I haven't gotten to wide receiver, so I haven't gotten the deep dive on Marvin Harrison. I know how awesome he is. That's tough, Mark. That is tough. Right now, I think I'm might be leaning yes. I might be leaning yes on doing that. Because Marvin Harrison, you're getting him on a rookie deal. And I think as good as BA is, like BA is really freaking good. Marvin Harrison, the ceiling might even be higher. That's tough. That's a tough one, Mark. Steve O says 18 to 20 more our range. I agree. And there'll be a solid tackle there. I think 18 to 20. We're going to get to it. Let's move to the next guy on the list. So I love Fuaga. I think it's a pipe dream that we get him. JC Latham, the tackle out of Alabama. He's a big boy. He's thick, 6'6", 335. He's a good player. I didn't love him. Like, I think Fuaga is just clearly better than Latham. So I wouldn't trade up, to 15 to get him. 20, where it's a little cheaper, pick 20. Yeah, I'd go up and get Latham around there. But I like Latham. But Amarius Mims, the kid out of Georgia, inexperienced. He hasn't played a ton, but I got to be honest. I watched him against South Carolina and Georgia Tech. He looked really freaking good. And Tennessee. Amarius Mims, I almost wanted not to like him. I don't know why. Forgive me. Sorry, Amarius. Just because he's so experienced. Like, he's only played 800 snaps. Like, that's like one season in his career at Georgia. So he's been dinged up. He had the high ankle this year. So I was thinking, inexperienced tackle for the Niners. Like, we need a guy who can come in and play right away. So I was already like, I don't know. I don't know about it. But then I watched the games that he did play against Tennessee, against South Carolina, against Georgia Tech. The dude's strong as hell. And even though he's 6'7" and 340, he can move. Remember, we're talking about second level blockers, tackles that can move. That's how the Niners like him. Amarius Mims at his size, it's awesome how he moves. So he's a really good run blocker. And for that reason, I think the Niners are going to like him. Extremely high ceiling. So, well, not a ton of experience, extremely high ceiling. And he was a guy, the more I watched Amarius Mims, the more I liked him. So, very much in play. But I'll tell you, I would take this next guy out of Washington over J.C. Latham, over Amarius Mims, and he's lower on this list in terms of the tackle prospects, and it's Troy Fautanu. Troy Fautanu out of Washington. You know, some people were speculating, is he a tackle? Is he a guard? He squashed that at the combine. Like, the arm length was good, and the film that he put together is awesome. Like, he's light on his feet, which I know the Niners would like. You know, he takes good angles. He's always looking for work. Like, some of these tackles, you see him and they hop out in pass pro, and maybe their D lineman drops into coverage and then they block nobody, right? And to me, I'm like, hey, as soon as no one's in front of you to block, go help out your guard, right? It's like, how quick do you do it? Like, Troy Fautanu, he's looking for work constantly. Like, I couldn't find a play where he didn't block anybody. So I like to see that. He's just very agile. Like, he's very agile. Uh, it was really impressive. That's why I'm high on Troy Fautanu. I would probably have him as my fourth favorite tackle right after Fuaga. Okay. The next guy on my list, while he was listed as a tackle, on this PFF list I was looking at, it's Graham Barton out of Duke. He's going to be an interior guy. He's either going to be a center, he's going to be a guard, and he's savvy. My first note says he's savvy. He's not the biggest, but he does his job, rep in and rep out. Graham Barton's getting the job done. So I really like him on the interior. Like, if he were to slip to 31 and the Niners took him, I probably wouldn't be jumping up and down, but I wouldn't be mad because I think Graham Barton's a good player. I think he's pegged to be a center. Steve O says the first pick is going to be a returner. Steve O. I just tweeted this out about who I think the Niners will. If you asked me today, who do I think the Niners would take at 31? It's Xavier Worthy, the speedster out of Texas. Ran, what was it, the 4.22? 4.21? Was it the 4.21? That's insane. And Shanahan has a tie to Texas, right? With Sarkisian. Sark and Shanny are close. And I know Shanahan loves speed. Like, he's had speedsters in Atlanta. Taylor Gabriel was his little speedster. When he came to the Niners, he went and got Marquise Goodwin. Dynamic speedster nonetheless. Drafted Danny Gray. Shanahan loves that speed. Raheem Mostert, speed back. Matt Breida, speed back. Like, Shanahan loves speed. And Xavier Worthy, I think it could be a Shanahan pick. And why this made me think of Steve-O's comment made me think of Xavier Worthy because he's also a returner, right? Ray McLeod signed 2 years with the Atlanta Falcons. So Ronnie Bell as a returner is like the same thing as Richie James, in my opinion. Just like, yeah, he can do it, but he ain't very explosive. So if you want an element of explosiveness in the return game, Xavier Worthy, man, this dude looks dynamic, and the speed is different. The speed is different. Uh, Record speed at the combine. I wouldn't rule it out. If you ask me today, what is it? Today's March 16th. Baller, who do you think the Niners will pick at 31? And I had to give you a name. As of right now, I'm saying Xavier Worthy, the receiver out of Texas. That's just the name I'm saying. Might be a bit of a reach, but I think Shanny loves speed. I think the Chiefs might take him a pick later if the Niners don't. Lowe says Jackson Powers Johnson is the best center I've seen come out in a while. A big physical center next to Feliciano and Banks at guards will severely slow down DT screwing us up in January, February. I've heard a lot of good things about Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon, the center. Heard some good things. Yeah, good stuff, Los. Next on my tackle list, so Barton, like I said, I think he's going to be moving to the interior, and I think he's a good player. But the next tackle on my list is this kid out of Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton, 6'7", 327 pounds. Like, he's a big dude, but I got to be honest, I think I'm lower on Tyler Guyton than a lot of people. I think I'm lower on him. He looks the part. That's my first note. It's like, you see Tyler Guyton, it's like, whoa, this guy looks like an NFL starting tackle. I guess he's huge. He's a big dude. And he moves pretty well for a big guy. But I saw him getting knocked off balance a little too much. And one of my tackles, we've already seen Mike McGlinchey get thrown around a little too much. So I thought he was kind of getting knocked off balance. I watched Guyton. I try to watch these guys against good teams. So I watched them against Texas, which Texas, had a pretty formidable D line this past year. But I thought Guyton was getting kind of knocked around. I thought he needs refinement, like he has potential. That tells me I'm good at pick 31. So I think I'm lower on Guyton. Let me know if you guys like Tyler Guyton, but I don't want him at 31. Jordan Morgan, I like him, but I'd be disappointed if the Niners took him at 31. That's it. I already named the guys. Anything after Fatanu, I don't want at 31. I don't want Guyton at 31. I don't want Jordan Morgan at 31. I don't want Kingsley Suamatea at 31. No. Okay. So I think that does it for tackle. I'm lower on Kingsley than a lot of people. I see Niners Twitter really likes the idea of Kingsley Suamatea, the big boy out of BYU, 6'6", 315. I thought he had clunky feet. I thought the feet just looked clunky. He's not a fluid mover. I want more impact blocks. I felt like he was just lacking in just like dominant, like impact blocks where you're driving, a defensive end 5 yards off the ball. I wasn't seeing it. He's good in pass pro, but I don't think Kingsley at 31. No, in my opinion. Yeah, that's really now. The last tackle I'll talk about is probably the guy I would take in round 2. And the Niners have went to Notre Dame multiple times to get offensive linemen, right? Drafting Mike, drafting Aaron Banks. These are guys out of Notre Dame. Blake Fisher in the second round, I can get behind it. He's 6'6", 312. I watched him against Ohio State. which do, Blake Fisher was awesome against Ohio State. And Ohio State, we know what kind of defensive linemen they pump out. Like they're a pipeline to the NFL for defensive linemen. When you're talking Chase Young, the Bosa's, they produce good pass rushers, and Blake Fisher looked really good against Ohio State. He takes good angles to wall off defenders. He was pretty good at getting to the second level. I wouldn't not like he's not as good as Fatanu at climbing or Fuaga. Like he's not that level of a second level blocker. But man, I like Blake Fisher, and you can get him in the second round of these PFF mocks. I don't know how accurate that is, but I also watched him against USC. He doesn't look crazy athletic, but he just seems like a good freaking player. And the fact that the Niners have went to Notre Dame to grab offensive linemen a couple times already, and I kind of like the fit of him in round 2, and it looks like you can get him there. Lately, the few mocks I've done on PFF have been like best player available round 1, whether it's an offensive lineman or a corner, usually, and then maybe Blake Fisher in round 2 to get that because he played right tackle. Because sometimes when you're drafting these offensive linemen, they're a left tackle in college, but you want to play him at right tackle. Sometimes making that swing, making that adjustment, that transition isn't as easy as you think it would be. It's not Madden where you can just go in the depth chart and swap it. So the fact that he played right tackle at Notre Dame, I feel like is a little bit more appealing. That being said, Niners do need a left tackle of the future as well, right? Like let's be honest, Trent's years are limited. Okay. So we went pretty in depth on O-line. Let's catch up on the chat because chat's live. Everyone, make sure you hit that like. Let's get some more people in here. It's late night baller talk. We're just talking some Niners, talking some NFL draft. Let me know in the comments. I'm about to go through them right now. If you guys want to do a PFF mock draft together, we'll do like a cumulative. I'll have the final say, but I'll take your guys' input. So if you want to do a PFF mock draft, let me know. Low set. Brendel is solid, but too often gets pushed back by big, strong D tackles. Shortest point to the QB is up the middle. That was well said, Los. What I will add is that Brendel's a good run blocker, man. I've seen him numerous times. He's making blocks 10, 15, 20 yards downfield where he's keeping, he's just got an agility, a quickness to him. You're right. His weakness is power. We've seen him. That's why even in some short running situations, you kind of see him get knocked back, and it's just kind of just muddies things up. It makes it hard to convert a 3rd and 2, when you're trying to run up the gut on the inside and your center's getting knocked back. So I know what you mean. That's why, drafting a center at pick 31, I am okay with. But Brendel, I feel like he is solid. Like you said, Brendel's solid. Brendel went from 12 penalties to 1 last year. Steve-O, that's a good fact. That's a nice fact. Thank you for that one. When are you going the next late night baller talk, Shardall? Hey, that's why you got to hit subscribe. You got to hit the notification bell. I don't even know when the next late night baller talk's going to be. It's just kind of sporadic. Tonight, I'm watching Warriors Lakers. Anytime you beat the Lakers, it makes you feel good. And I said, hey, I think I need to talk some ball, break down some of these Niners transactions. I've been watching all this film on these college players. Let me talk to the people, hear what they got to say, and just get some takes out there. I felt like getting some takes out. That's why we did some baller talk tonight, Shardall, but thanks for stopping by. Losek, Kingsley Suamatea is my sleeper tackle if we don't move up. Big with quick feet and is a scrapper. Los, you commented this before I hit on Kingsley. I must be behind. I got to catch up on these comments, but I didn't really like Kingsley. Not at 31, Los. Not at 31. I know he played both tackle positions at BYU. He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker, but I don't think he's the move. Sorry. Is a returner even that valuable anymore with kickers kicking it out of the end zone? You're right, Mark. That does reduce the value. I mean, the punt return, I feel like the punt return game is where you can get kind of more explosive returns just in general. Uh, Even back when, the kick return game was still alive. I know, you know, shout out Dante Hall and Devin Hester, but those dudes were rare. I feel like the bigger plays kind of came in the punt return game, and that's still alive. So that's where Xavier Worthy could help you. Punt return, not so much kick return. Yeah, 6'7", too tall for Purdy. That's interesting. Do you have to think about your tackle's height in comparison to your quarterback's height? I mean, Mike McGlinchey is 6'8". So, what's up, CG? Kingsley going to be our pick. 20 years old. Watch his tape. Combine. He a baller. Ah, man. I hate to be the low guy on Kingsley, but I think I'm the low guy on Kingsley. I don't know. I thought the feet looked clunky. It didn't look smooth to me. Rookie in France. And let me tell you who I watched him against. I watched Kingsley against Texas Tech. Some highlights, but I always watch at least a couple full games of these players. Like highlights can only give you so much. So I watched Kingsley against Texas Tech. I wasn't that impressed. Gotta be honest. It's a no for me at 31. Hey man, the Straight Out of the Bay show, which I'm on every Monday, is live in the chat. So hey, I appreciate that. Catch us on Monday. We going live Monday. Breaking news. Okay. Chardall said he's down to do a PFF mock draft. Chardall's down. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna break down some more, not break them down, but talk about some of these prospects, and then we'll hit up a PFF mock draft. But the cornerback position. So I told you I go by position, right? Kind of evaluating these draft prospects. I hit one position hard and go 20 players deep or so, roughly. So I hit offensive line or offensive tackle. That was the first one I looked at. Second one was corner. Checked out these corners. And there's a lot of cornerbacks I like in this draft, fellas. Let me know in the comments like who your top 3 corners are. Because there's 5 of them that I would be ecstatic to get at 31. There's 5. And then there's a couple more that I would like at 31. Like I think this is a really good cornerback class. And at the top, it's funny, different lists you look at you'll see a bunch of different names at cornerback 1, in this year's draft. Bunch of different names. We'll start off with Cooper DeJean, the white boy out of Iowa. It's rare. That's a rare one. He's got really good size. He's 6'1", but he's strong. He's got a strong build for a corner, and that's why there was some speculation because he had a really good season last year. And it was, is he a safety in the NFL? Is he a corner? He's a corner. And he's great in the run game. And let me just add in that the dude was a basketball star in high school. Not just like he played high school basketball. He was a star. Like I was watching some Cooper DeJean basketball highlights, and he's got some sick bounce, some sick dunks. Like he's a crazy athlete. Talking about return game, Cooper DeJean was making plays as a punt returner. If somehow he slips I don't think it'll happen. I don't know. Teams might be kind of hesitant. White corner? What? Nah. No, there's just some other really good corners in this draft. Like let's go a different route. I mean, how many white corners have been successful? Not Jason Sehorn? Am I missing somebody? It's been a while. Jason Sehorn? That being said, I really like Cooper DeJean. Uh, I don't think he slips to 31, but if he did, I take him. Although he's not my CB1. He's not my CB1. Let me be clear. I think I'm gonna put him at CB2. I'm gonna put him at CB2. My CB1 is the next guy I'm gonna touch on right here. And it's Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. This kid out of Clemson, I know he's skinny, and that's the knock on him. He's light. Is he gonna hold up to the physicality of the NFL? 6'2", 185. Like he's long, he's tall, but he's just skinny. He's light. That being said, the dude's got elite quickness and speed. I want to say he ran a 4.28. You can fact check me. 4.28 at the combine. Yeah, like he can scoot, and it's just not a combine thing. It's the film. The dude is sticky in coverage. Like you don't get much separation on Nate Wiggins. He's quick to diagnose routes. He's just ultra sticky. He's my CB1 this year. And you know what's crazy? Connor Rogers and Trevor Sikkema, a couple PFF guys, they have a podcast, the NFL Stock Exchange, which I just kind of came across recently. But I listened to the last mock draft they did just like yesterday, and they had Nate Wiggins falling to pick 31. And Rogers is like, we got to take Nate Wiggins for the Niners. Just this talent shouldn't be here. There's no freaking way Nate Wiggins should fall to the Niners. But if he does, you sprint to the podium, you draft him, and that would give you a cornerback trio. That would be special. If you had Charvarius Ward, Nate Wiggins, Demo in the slot, I'm telling you, that would be insane. That I'm just salivating at the mouth at the thought of having that cornerback trio. Because Nate Wiggins, I mean, the dude is sticky. Like you could play man. He ain't giving up much separation. Like he's clamping dudes. Only the elite receivers are going to get separation on Nate Wiggins, in my opinion. Okay. Next up in the cornerback room is Quinyon Mitchell. Out of Toledo, I got to be honest, I couldn't get a ton of tape on Quinyon Mitchell, but I did watch some of the Senior Bowl stuff. He had an awesome Senior Bowl. Some of the one-on-ones, he was sticky. One of the best players at the Senior Bowl. His stock was already like first-round value kind of coming in because he was locked down at Toledo. Shout out Sam Womack in Toledo. But he went from like first-round lock to probably, top 15 lock, in my opinion, at this point. And 4.33 at the combine, like the speed shows. That being said, gotta be honest, I didn't find a ton of Toledo tape, so send it my way if you got it. The next two corners on my list that I was looking at are both the Alabama kids, Tyrion Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry. And me in particular, I like Kool-Aid, right? Touche. I like Kool-Aid, but I like Kool-Aid the corner even more so than Terrion Arnold, which I think that's not the consensus. I think most people got Terrion Arnold above Kool-Aid McKinstry kind of in the consensus rankings, but I just liked how smart Kool-Aid played, how quick he is to diagnose routes, and just the savviness he has. Whereas I know Terrion Arnold had 5 picks this year, but it kind of seemed kind of fluky. Couple of, tip balls or, receiver slips. It was just the picks looked kind of fluky. That being said, he is a fluid mover. I do like him. Another note it says Terrion Arnold. He's kind of grabby at the catch point. So I think I'm a little bit lower on Terrion Arnold than um, the consensus, but I like Kool-Aid. Like if Kool-Aid's there at 31, I like the sound of Kool-Aid McKinstry in a Niner uniform. You know, the Alabama product. I want to say he has an injury, but so you got to check that out. But as a player, I really like what I saw from Kool-Aid. Just some, we'll kind of breeze through some of these next corners because I went like 20 deep. I don't think I need to talk about 20 guys. Okay, chat's live. Chat's live. You should catch a San Jose Sharks game. Maybe, maybe. He played for Iowa, overrated. Okay, rookie and friends, not a big Cooper guy. I like Cooper. I like him. You know, 7 interceptions in the last 2 years. He's smart. I told you he is freaky athletic. Like, he's got some bounce. Just watch some of his basketball highlights and his head's up at the rim and he's slamming it. Like, I don't know. That stuff matters to me. Multi-sport. I like the multi-sport athletes. I think Cooper DeJean is legit, but I think he's going to slip a little bit farther than most people are thinking. I think a lot of kind of the mocks and what I've seen have Cooper as a top 12, top 15 pick. I think he could slip into the 20s. Okay. Ennis Rakestraw out of Missouri is the next corner. I liked him too. The guy can play man, he can play zone. He only had 1 interception, but I like the film. I like the film of Ennis Rakestraw from Missouri. He had a play where he uh, actually it was his only interception. He blew up a bubble screen, right? I love when my defenders can diagnose screens quickly, right? And that's what Rakestraw did. Blew it up, picked it. It was a really nice play. The next corner, TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. Kind of feels like a Niners guy. TJ Tampa kind of feels like a Niner corner. 6'2", bigger cornerback, 200 pounds, and he'll hit you. That's the thing. These Niners corners, Kyle Shanahan and just the defensive coordinators we've had, philosophically, they ask these corners to hit and to fill in the run game. Like Charvarius Ward, Demo, these guys, they're more physical than your typical corners you see in the NFL. It's like a prerequisite. If you're going to be a Niners corner, you better be physical. You better play the run. And TJ Tampa does that. That's why I think he kind of fits that mold. He had some big hits on tape. Another basketball player. So I saw some dunks of his where he's showing off some freaky athleticism. And I like what I've seen from TJ Tampa. I'm a fan of his. Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. He looks good. I think this is a really good cornerback class. I think Kamari Lassiter is really that last corner that I think this dude's good. I'm confident he's a starter. Because after him, next up is like Kyrie Jackson, who I liked some of what I saw. Yeah, I know he's 6'3". He's got some length. But I wasn't feeling him as much as, that first, like, 7 guys I talked about. Like, there's like a tier. Kamari Lassiter is kind of that last tier, him and TJ Tampa. But let's hear who Los has on his cornerback list. Los gave me his rank. He said 1, Terrion Arnold. We're a little bit off in our evaluations, Los. Kingsley, Terrion. I thought Terrion was grabby, man. And his whole thing was he's supposed to be like uber athletic, super quick, super fast. And it's like then he ran the 4.55 at not the 4.55, but a 4.5 at the combine, which isn't bad, but I don't know. I'm lower on Terrion Arnold. Kool-Aid, I like Kool-Aid. Nate Wiggins, that's my dog. I got him as CB1. Big time sleep around 2-3. Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. Watch his tape versus Marvin Harrison. I got to check him out versus Marvin Harrison. I did watch Cam Hart. He's good size. He's a zone corner. That's a thing, Los. If the Niners still want to play zone heavy, if that's their future plans, then I agree. I like Cam Hart, but his man-to-man ability, I'm not so sure about. I don't know if he's got the quickness, the speed. I think he lacks some recovery speed, Los. That's where I'm at with Cam Hart. But yeah, round three, I liked him. I liked him. I'd be cool with that round three. Well, I'll check him out versus Marvin Harrison. Rookie and friend says top corners between Mitchell and Arnold. Okay, I'm the low guy on Terrion Arnold. That's what it's sounding like, which is okay. I can be the low guy on Terrion Arnold. This show has been going live for 1 hour and 2 minutes. Everybody hit that like. Actually, you know what? Oh, shout out to Shardall. Been a long time supporter. Let's hear it from Shardall.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
That's right. Make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, continuing to go down the cornerback list. Mike Sandstill. He's the little guy from Michigan. Started as a wide receiver there. They switched him to corner. 6 interceptions. So he's got a knack for the football. I thought he looked good, but he's small. He's small, but he is physical for a small guy. I'll say that. Jerrion Jones out of Florida State, another slot corner. He profiles as a slot. Chris Abrams out of Missouri, another former wide receiver who's had 7 interceptions since 21. So these corners, now we're getting a little bit further down the list. But the last position, so we did offensive tackle, we talked corner. The last position I've really hit hard so far is edge. We know how much John Lynch and these Niners love drafting edge. So I checked out, the top 20 or so edge rushers. And what I came away with, man, there's 3 edge rushers that I love. There's 3 I love. I would love to have them in the first round. And then after that, man, like I like these guys. I'm not saying there's only 3 good DNs in this draft. I like a lot of these guys, but not at pick 31. Not at pick 31. So let's talk about the 3 that I love. All right, first we'll go Dallas Turner out of Alabama, 6'4", 242. He's got that burst at the snap. That ability to accelerate, the explosiveness. He can go speed to power. He's got the speed, but he converts it into power. So he can beat you around the edge. He can bull rush you. He's got the long arm move. He just has multiple ways he could beat you: inside, outside, bull rush. He had 11 sacks for Alabama, 33 hurries. Like, Dallas Turner's freaking legit. Like, he's awesome. And so is this next guy, dude. Jared Verse out of Florida State. Jared Verse out of Florida State. He's an Albany transfer. So he started out at a small school. But this dude's got get off. This dude's got get off and power. He was absolutely destroying tackles. Some of these offensive tackles. Verse was just destroying them. My notes that he's polished. He's a man amongst boys, is what I wrote down. He had 20 sacks in 2 years at Florida State. A lot of these defensive linemen are strong. Jared Verse has like a different level of strength. So I really love those first 2 pass rushers, Dallas Turner, Jared Verse. Like, they're very safe prospects. They're going to be good players, both of them. I'm very confident in that. They're going to be very good football players at the next level. Doing too much talking, not enough beer drinking. Let's just check out the comments. David Villa, hey, thanks for stopping by. Niners, best in the world. In my heart. In my heart. Can't find Rams fans anywhere. Hey, they're not even at SoFi. You think we can make a trade for a Surtain or Newsome, some CBs? Can we? You probably can. Probably costs a little too much, and I don't want to trade BA. So, I mean, why would the Browns trade Newsome? Right? Kid out of Northwestern, like he's still on his rookie deal. He's a really freaking good player. Like, why would the Browns do that? Why is it even mentioned? Are the Browns? Is there a report that they're shopping him? Fill me in. Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain's freaking awesome. Would I trade Brandon Ayuk for Patrick Surtain? Probably not. But I have to think about it. So I'm gonna say no. Judy went for a fifth, a five. Judy went for a fifth, six. Fields 6. We can get anybody. Yeah, that Fields trade was interesting, huh? Man, NFL's a little bit lower on Justin Fields than I thought. I knew his stock wasn't that high, but 6th-round pick? Backup QB? It's a pretty nice backup, I think. I always liked having a mobile quarterback as my backup because I feel like being a mobile quarterback, it gives you a floor, just for some production, getting some first downs with your feet. It's just, I like the idea of having a mobile backup. Let me know what you think. Like, I understand, maybe you want like a similar quarterback to your starter so you don't have to change the offense too much, but I don't know. I think there's a floor to having a mobile backup where he can come in and just kind of just give you some extra juice, give you a different look. So I like the pickup by the Steelers. Seems like cap went up, a pick's value went down. Cap went up, pick's value went down. I mean, the premium picks always have value, Steve-O. The premium picks. Like, if you want to trade up in the NFL draft, it's expensive. It ain't cheap to move up. That's why if the Niners wanted to move up, probably going to have to include next year's first-round pick to do it. They got 3 great corners. Who we talking about? Talking about the Niners? Charvarius Ward, Demo. I like Demo. I've been a Demo stan. I was telling people Demo profiles as a nickel since we drafted him. So I've been high on Demo. Is he great? I think he's good. I think he could be great. I can't say definitively that he's great. I think he's. It's not too far fetched. I think he's a really good football player. I like Demo. But who's the third guy? If we're talking Niners. Charvarius Ward, Demo. Is he Yidion? Who the Niners just picked up from the Saints? It ain't Ambry Thomas. It ain't. I mean, Sam Womack. I do kind of like me some Sam Womack. We're talking Luter Jr. Okay, so let's get back to edge. Let's stay on task. We were talking edge. I talked about the top 2 guys who both are freaking awesome. Dallas Turner out of Alabama, Jared Verse out of Florida State. Next up is the UCLA product, Laiada Latu. I might have botched the first name, but Latu out of UCLA, dude. This dude's really freaking good. I like the top 3 edge rushers. I really like all 3. And if you were to tell me, I told you I love Turner and I love Verse, but if someone said, "Hey, man, I like Latu as the top edge rusher in this draft," I'd say, "Oh, hey, I'm not gonna beat you up over it." I really like what I saw from Latu. He's got a great first step. He's got awesome hands. The hand work, right when an offensive lineman's trying to punch you, trying to block you, boom, Latu swatting them away, getting around the edge. Like he's polished. Layada Latu, it looks like you're taking an NFL veteran and putting him back into college. That's just what it looked like when you're watching this pass rusher at a UCLA. I said, bro, he's got an insane brain. When you're watching him, he just plays really smart football. He's just really smart, and it pops out when you're watching film. This guy Latu, and when I say he's smart, he's reading screens. As soon as the offense has dialed up a screen, he's diagnosing it. He's chasing the ball. He's got power. I love the jump swipe. It's like when you're swatting your hands and it's tied to your footwork and it's that jump swipe. It's a pass rush move. He's got that, and I'm a fan of that. He's got tremendous bend. I mean, the dude had 27 sacks in 2 years. Let me repeat that: 27 sacks in 2 years at UCLA. He's a special player. I know we went out, we got Leonard Floyd, we got Gross Matos. If Latu slips into the 20s somehow, I'm trying to move up. Take my 2, take my 3. You want a 5? Okay. I'm doing that to move up 10 spots. I'm getting some pronunciation correction from Shardizzle. He said it's Latu. I appreciate that. Latu. 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 I like this dude. This dude's really good. And for what it's worth, PFF, they give their grades out. They give a number to it, a 96 for Latu, which is really freaking good. But the tape, you don't need to look at PFF's number, just watch the tape. And Latu's awesome. That's the definitive top 3. Turner versus Latu, and then there's a bit of a drop off. The next guy we'll talk about is Chris Braswell out of Alabama. He can flatten to the quarterback. He's got good hands, shows a bull rush. He was productive with 13 sacks in 2023. Came on strong this past season, but before he was sitting behind, Dallas Turner, Will Anderson. So he had to kind of wait for his opportunity at Alabama, and he made the most of it this year. He was a good football player. PFF gave him an 81 if you were interested in that. But these, next 2 edge rushers are out of Penn State. Adisa, Isaac, thick lower half. He's got a strong build. He's a good ball player, violent hands. And he had 9 sacks this past year. I do like Isaac out of Penn State. Chop Robinson, this dude, he's kind of a one-trick pony. Chop Robinson out of Penn State, and I feel like Niners Twitter really likes Chop Robinson. I think I'm a little lower on him than just because he's a one-trick pony. Like, he's a speed rusher. He's got a great speed rush, but that's kind of all he's got. Like, you're only bringing him in on passing downs. I think he's going to get worked in the run game at the NFL level. He was good in college. He could hold up, but just kind of projecting with his smaller build, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be good in the run game, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but UCLA has 3 good edges. The other guys from Latu can be taken in rounds 4+. Grayson and Gabriel Murphy. Yeah, I checked out Gabriel Murphy. He's not too far down on this. We'll get to him. Get to him. Rookie and friends, Latu is the best edge coming out. If he slips, we need to pounce. I agree, rookie and friends. I agree. I really like what I've seen from Latu. Like I said, it looks like you took an NFL veteran and you just put him back into college. And that's what it looked like when you were watching Latu at UCLA. I was trying to give you a comp on the spot for him. And the first guy that comes to mind is like Jordan Phillips, who's still really young. I know he's come, I think he tore his ACL, but the Miami Dolphins pass rusher, something like that with Latu, he's just really good. He is really good. Thing is, and we discussed it, will our head coach play a talented rookie or is it going to be more redshirting? First round pick should be getting on the field, Los. Whoever this is needs to come in and help us out immediately. At least that first rounder, man. So we hit on Chop, great speed rusher. I'm not sure how much more he's bringing. But Darius Robinson is next up, the big boy out of Missouri, 6'5", 296. Like, he can set an edge. He's a guy who can kick inside as well on passing downs. He's got some experience playing tackle. He's big, he's strong, he's a pocket pusher. He's going to move that offensive lineman backward, kind of compressing the pocket on the quarterback. That's probably going to be where his biggest impact's felt. He's kind of slow, which makes sense. He's 6'5", 296, but I wrote he's kind of slow. Next up, we'll go to Jonah Ellis out of Utah. Kid's an overachiever. He's a gamer. Not the biggest guy, 6'2", 246. Like, he's on the smaller side. But he's got a great first step. And that first step allows him to get to the edge. We're talking Jonah Willis here out of Utah. His first step allows him to get to the edge so he can beat you around the edge. But he's got a great counter of a spin move, which you don't see a ton from these college players, when they're watching their tape. But he's got this spin because he's got this great burst, this great acceleration at the snap to the outside. So now the tackle's they kind of got to overset. They got to get out there because he's got this burst off the line. So if the tackle oversets, boom, he's in a spin counter inside. He did it multiple times. He had 13 sacks this past year. Again, Jonah Ellis, he's on the smaller side, but the dude, he's a ball player. Again, he's also kind of like Chop Robinson. I think he's more of a situational pass rusher. Not a 3-down defensive end, in my opinion. But next up, Marshawn Nealand out of Western Michigan. I think he's going to be a rotational piece. Again, now we're talking maybe round 3, round 4, rotational player. He's got a short, strong, thick build. He's a power rusher, violent hands. He's good versus the run. 6 sacks this past year at Western Michigan. Okay, we'll move to Braylon Trice out of Washington. He was awesome versus Texas. I watched him versus Texas in the Sugar Bowl. That's right, it was the Sugar Bowl. Braylon Trice, he was awesome. He had multiple sacks, forced a fumble. So he was awesome. He's got a good first step for his size. He's a big boy, too. So that's why it's nice he has that first step. He's 6'4", 274. PFF loved him. They gave him an 88 as their grade. That's, anything in the 80s or 90s is pretty freaking high for them. So not only is he big, but he's got that first step. Yeah. Now the more I can see just the film kind of flashing up in my brain. And I like Braylon Trice. I think he might be more of an outside linebacker. I don't know if he's a true D end. which we know the Niners run the 4-3. So maybe he's not a fit for the Niners, but teams running a 3-4, they should be all over Braylon Trice. I like him. Austin Booker out of Kansas. He's 6'6", 245, so he's tall and skinny. But my notes say these are the baller notes. He's strong for a skinny dude. So Austin Booker's strong for a skinny dude, and he can threaten the outside. He likes getting to the edge. Then it was Gabriel Murphy, who Los likes. Gabriel Murphy, again, UCLA product, 7 sacks, 43 hurries. That's a lot of hurries. He's got speed to threaten the edge, to chop, but I wrote, I think he's more of an outside linebacker, so maybe not a Niners fit. I think he's more of an outside linebacker. But just to kind of wrap it up on the edge, Javon Solomon out of Troy, ultra productive, 17 sacks. Again, there's a lot of these kind of small pass rushers in this draft that are kind of one-trick ponies where, in my opinion, you're not going to want them in on base downs, on running downs. And that is Javon Solomon out of Troy. 17 sacks, ultra productive, but he's a tiny little guy. Situational pass rusher, but he does tie his hands to his feet. So if you're looking for, a third and long kind of speed rusher, Javon Solomon might be your guy, maybe round 4, maybe round 5. And then, I like this guy. Damn, this dude's too low down on the list. This guy is too low on the list, which is surprising because he's an Alabama product. And I'm talking about Justin Aboigbe. He's a big end. You're talking about an edge setter. You want an edge setter, kind of like what Clelin Ferrell did for the Niners last year. Justin Aboigbe is that guy. He's a pocket pusher. Again, he's not the most technical. He's not going to beat you around the edge too much. But if you're looking, and you saw the Niners do this a lot more, they do it against mobile quarterbacks. And it's when they ask their defensive line to just compress the pocket, right? That was the game plan in the Super Bowl. They didn't want Bosa and Gregory and Chase Young flying upfield at Patrick Mahomes, right? Leaving like these alleys for Mahomes to escape through. They wanted to compress that pocket on him, right? And that's what Aboigbe can do at the end. He's not a speed rusher. He's big. He's got a thick body. He's 6'5", 292. This was his best year at Alabama. He had the 7 sacks. Remember, Alabama has so much talent that sometimes you got to wait your turn. Ask Najee Harris at running back. It's just like good players. You might be a senior and you finally get on the field, and show what you can do. So Aboigbe, I really like him. He should not be this low on this list. He's awesome versus the run. He's a base down defensive end. Yeah, I like Aboigbe. To round it out, the last edge guy I've looked at so far is Mo Kamara out of Colorado State. He had the 14 sacks. Again, he's another a lot of smaller DNs, 6'1", 6'2", kind of just pass rushers, in my opinion. He's got good bursts. He plays hard. He's got that motor. We're talking Mo Kamara. Constantly wins around the edge. Will it translate? So I still have I have a little bit of question marks about Mo Kamara and how he's going to translate. Maybe I need to watch a little bit more of Mo. I like Cedric Gray, the linebacker from UNC. I'm going to check him out, Khalil. I haven't gotten to the off-ball linebackers yet. I said a little bit earlier, I go position by position. First, I started tackle, went 20 guys deep. Then I went to corner, went 20 guys deep. Then I went to edge, went 20 guys deep. Kind of looking at the Niners' needs. Next up, I'm gonna be looking at D tackle. That is probably get started on that tomorrow. But because I kind of go by the Niners' positional needs, and I don't feel like the off ball, the middle linebackers is that big of a need. So that's why it's kind of lower on my list, Khalil. But I'm gonna check out Cedric Gray, and I'll let you know. Los is with me. He loves a boy B. Yeah, he's physical and he can set the edge. That's exactly why I want him. And I know Gross Matos. I think he can set the edge too. So we'll see. Maybe they're out on another just kind of true edge setter, that big end. And he can kick inside, on passing downs. I feel like, hey, what do you say we mix in one mock? I mean, it's almost 11 p.m. Hey, appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you're subscribed. If you want to hit that notification bell, you never know when I'm going live. Tonight, after that Warriors-Lakers game, I was like, hey, let's talk some ball. Let's kind of recap it. I got some Niners thoughts I want to talk about on this offseason. So you never know. That's why you got to hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss out. But let's do it. Let's do a little mock. How about a little mock action? Okay, let's go to this tab here. Mock draft simulator. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Then I gotta move this banner.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Okay, so what team are we gonna be? We're gonna be the Niners. And we're gonna do 7 rounds. Give me all sev. And that's all we gotta do. That's all we gotta do. Let's start this thing. I'm taking your guys' input. I want to hear who you guys like. Who should we draft here? Okay. Pick 31. Okay. Okay. Not gonna lie. Someone who I wanted to slip to our spot is not here, like a Kool-Aid or I mean, Nate Wiggins would have been awesome, but what are you guys thinking? The top rated players here, Jerzan Newton, who's man, D tackle's next on my list. Interior is next on my list. So I actually haven't watched Newton yet, but if the chat loves Newton, you could talk me into it. I have heard a lot of good things about Zach Frazier. I think right now I'm leaning Zach Frazier. Let's solidify that center. Chardall's taken Peyton Wilson. I don't think we need a linebacker right here, though, Shardizzle. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Peyton Wilson. I've heard some good things. Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier is where I'm leaning, fellas. Unless someone comes in. I mean, TJ Tampa. I told you guys I like me some TJ Tampa. So should we go corner or should we go center? Well, let me know in the comments. Okay, first three. If we get 3 votes for one of those guys, we're gonna pick that position. Should we go corner or should we go center? We're going O line or we going DB? Got to take Newton or Frazier. Okay, we got one. We got one for Frazier. Chardall's trying to get that wide receiver out of Georgia, McConkey. That's a great name. McConkey. Khalil Young says Frazier. That's 2 Frazier. Frazier was where I was leaning. So let's see here. I do like me some TJ Tampa, but that might be a little bit of a reach, but he ain't making it to us in round 2. Okay, Shardizzle Chardizzle wraps it up. Okay, we're gonna solidify that center position and get the center of the future and probably of the now. I mean, I got to dive into the Zach Frazier. I've watched the tackle position. I got to get more interiors on my list, but I have heard a lot of good things about. Really, there's two elite centers. I feel like in this draft, right? And it's the Oregon kid, what Powers Johnson, or what I might be. What is his name? What is his name? Jackson Powers Johnson. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about Powers Johnson, but I also heard a lot of good things about Zach Frazier. So let's go that route. Although I'm telling you, if you ask me who do I think Shanahan's going to pick, I said it earlier. I think the pick's going to be Xavier Worthy. I think the pick is going to be Xavier Worthy. Is Xavier Worthy available right here? Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Come on, dude. They got Michael Penix available at pick 63. Yo, come on. Is that normal? That can't be. Michael Penix is a first round pick. Michael Penix is a first round pick. Come on. Oh, you guys can't even see me? Damn, y'all can't even see me. Damn. I thought y'all could see me. Y'all couldn't even see me that whole time. That's all good. But Michael Penix, and at the end of the second round, yeah, I like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy. But Michael Penix is giving me pause. Wow. I mean, does that seem like crazy value? Does that seem like crazy value? Like Michael Penix should not be here right here. Chardell says, should we take Michael Penix?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
We got Brock Purdy. I know Chardell, but it's just I was not expecting Michael Penix to be here in the second round. But you're right. We got to win now. We're trying to win now. Backup quarterback, no. Doesn't make sense. Okay. Who you guys like here, round two? I'm not taking Kieran. Really, the guy I like. Yeah. I feel like Blake Fisher. I mean, do you guys want to go back to back O line? You guys want to lock in on that O line? Really solidify that. We go Frazier, the center, round one. Round two, you get the right tackle out of Notre Dame, Blake Fisher. It's an option. He's there. Jalen Polk. That was a nice connection with Penix. Xavier Legette. I've heard some good things about. Really good after the catch. Just kind of looking at Tavondre Sweat, the big D tackle, the dominant run stuffer. That could be interesting. And there's Blake Fisher. If you guys want to go tackle, it's Blake Fisher for me. What's the chat thinking? What's the chat thinking round two? $805 says hell nah on Xavier Worthy. Hell nah. Shanahan likes that speed. I'm saying there's a chance 805. Don't be shocked if it happens in round one. Don't be shocked. Well, shit, he's got to still be here, right? No. No, he's not. Let me just check it out. Where did he go? Just looking at where did Xavier Worthy go? Right, pick 35. I told y'all, dude, he's going early. Dude, we're on 4-2-1. And then I watched the highlights, and the highlights look good, and the speed matches up. Like he's blowing by dudes. Electric punt returner. Niners kind of need a punt returner right now. Ray just left. Danny Gray can't get on the field. Lowe says Xavier Worthy meet Danny Gray. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so Leggett, Los likes Leggett too. Leggett. Okay, sounds like it's gonna be Leggett. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Well, I do like, my Notre Dame tackle Blake Fisher. I've heard some good things about Leggett. Let's take the wide receiver Leggett. Jawan. We do. It sounds like we're gonna get Jawan back. We put that second round tender on him. But do we need, a wide receiver 3 of the future? Or, if we let Debo walk when his contract expires, like always got to be thinking one step ahead. So if Leggett is legit, then I'm a big best player available guy. Like who's the biggest impact player? Okay, here we are in round 3. We took the center, we took a wide receiver. I feel like the Niners with their free agency really kind of solidified that D line where I thought D line was going to be like a huge need come draft time. Like the Niners would absolutely need an edge early, need a defensive tackle early. They've kind of, patched it up. Maybe more, even better than just patching it up. Like Leonard Floyd's really freaking good. Like these Malik Collins has some freaking moves as a pass rusher on the interior. So they did more than just patch it up. Like D line isn't a huge need like I thought it would be coming into this draft. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me check something because I love this defensive. I haven't dove deep on D tackle yet. It's next up, but I got to see if this dude, Dwayne Carter, that's who we're taking, fellas. That's who we're taking. Sorry, I ain't asking the audience on this one. I've liked what I've seen from Dwayne Carter. I need to evaluate all the D tackles, but I just know I like this guy. It was Dwayne Carter. I watched his tape just one night. Sometimes it was probably like 1 a.m. You're just laying in bed, just watching prospects, and just Dwayne Carter happened to be the next YouTube prospect that popped up and I was watching Dwayne Carter, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I'm a big Lil Wayne fan, the rapper. So Dwayne Carter, the Carter 1, Carter 2, Carter 3, Dwayne Carter. I love the name, but I love the player. Like this dude, he's got moves. He can get after the quarterback. Let's see, do we get little blurbs on him? Okay, I could have gave you guys all these little blurbs too, because I'm still paying PFF for whatever reason. It's just one of the too many subscriptions that I have. But he had 8 sacks in 2022. He had a great PFF overall grade, 86.3. Still a solid score of 70 this past year with 2 sacks, 18 hurries. But I like what I saw on tape, dude. I like Dwayne Carter. Kind of bolstering the defensive tackles. Again, we'll just see who's available. We'll just double check. But yeah, we're going Dwayne Carter because I really like this dude. $805 says Latu from UCLA is a beast. 805, dude. I must have talked about Latu for like 5 or 10 minutes straight. Like Latu's freaking awesome. He was a man amongst boys. He looked like an NFL veteran who went back to college just to dominate at UCLA. That's what it looked like. Kalen Bullock is a player, safety at a USC. Okay, Los, I got to be honest. I haven't locked in on Kalen Bullock. I haven't gotten to the safeties yet because I don't think it's a huge need. Not saying we won't draft one, but I've just been going kind of looking at the positions I feel like are the biggest need for the Niners here to start off kind of my draft analysis. So I haven't gotten to safety, but I'm going to keep an eye on Bullock. You got Jair Brown. You got Hufanga. We know Hufanga's coming off the ACL. But it feels like that's the tandem of the future, right? It's about, hey, I don't know where Bullock's projected to go. If he's like a round 3 or round 4 guy. Again, I'm best player available. Who's going to make the biggest impact? Who's the best player? Hey, man, Dwayne Carter, I just know I like the player. I like the tape. So I want him on the squad. I don't think he was going to make it back to us in round 4, so I took him in round 3. The boss said, "Baller, so stoked you're on live, man." Hey, the boss, I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. We're going to be going live, talking ball, talking Warriors, talking Niners. We might mix in some San Francisco Giants. So, hey, no doubt. Watch the Kalen Bullock film. I will, Los. I'll let you know. I'll hit you up. Okay, let's get back to the draft. We got to finish this draft, and let's pick some studs. Okay. Oh, my boy Aboigbe's there. My boy Aboigbe is right here staring at me. My boy Aboigbe. Let's make sure Bullock is gone. Let's make sure Bullock is gone. Okay, I think Bullock's gone. Yeah. Man, out of the players I've watched, Aboigbe's jumping out at me. Let's see what corners are available right now. Mm. Mm. Hey, information man show. Appreciate that. Peace and respect. New year, no doubt. Thanks for stopping by. Got a little mock draft going. I'm going to Aboigbe here. I mean, he's one of the best players available, and I like the tape. Again, this is a guy who's going to set the edge. You can rotate him in on passing downs, but I think he's just a freaking good player. And in the 4th round, you're looking for players who are going to be rotational or just have long NFL careers. Like if your 4th round pick has a long, successful NFL career, that's a great pick. So I think Aboigbe is going to be just that. He's going to be an NFL defensive lineman for a decade. That's how I see it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, up again. Round 4. Let me know. Let me know, chat. We'll put this one on the chat. We'll put this one on the chat. Who do you guys like? I'll scroll through. Let me know if you want to see a certain position. Because I could filter this thing. Let's see. We've already taken a wide receiver. Yeah, tackle. We took a center, but tackle. You guys went with Leggett over Frazier. I mean, not over Frazier, over Fisher, like Fisher out of Notre Dame. That's my round 2 tackle I like. But Chat wanted Leggett and that wide receiver who I've heard good things about. But now it means we kind of whiffed on the tackles. That's what that means. That means you're rolling out Big Colton. Got to go at Boyd. Yeah, I had to go at Boyd. I had to go at Boyd. Okay, 805 says tight end. You're right. You're right. Let's check out tight end. Let's check out tight end. I mean, because Latu looks like a whiff. Okay, let's see what's going down with this dude. Eric All. I haven't hit tight ends yet. I have not hit tight ends yet. Scouting them. Okay, how many catches he had? This dude only caught 21 balls. Mm. Mm. Okay, this dude, he's Ben Sinnott. He's got a good grade and out of 2023. Caught 48 balls. That tells me he was utilized in that offense. Is that Kansas State? Ben Sinnott. But can you block, Ben? Can you block? Okay, right here. Here's a run block grade. That's what I'm looking for. 76. Yeah. Okay, I like this guy, Ben Sinnott, just from what I'm seeing, just the metrics on PFF. Yeah. Los is saying those Iowa tight ends. Love them Alabama defenders. Yeah, man. I like B. Willis, dude. I like me some B. Willis. Not giving up on Braden Willis. I know he had the penalty in the Super Bowl. Use checks back because there was a period in time where, the use check thing kind of appeared like it was in limbo. Like, was use check going to get cut? Obviously, he restructured his deal. So use checks back. But there was a moment where I'm like, was B. Willis about to be the fullback? Because I think he can do that. I think he could. I like Braden Willis, man. Last year, I evaluated a lot of those tight ends, and that was a good tight end class last year's. And the Braden Willis tape, dude, it jumped out. He played with the physicality, and it was every play. That's what made me fall in love with Braden Willis. It was every play he's blowing dudes up. Like I watched him. We got to go full screen for this one. I watched him on a wham block go across formation as a tight end and just blow up a defensive end, just lay his shoulder into, and just the defensive end just crumbled. And that just kind of opened my eyes like, wow, this dude, Braden Willis, gives everything he's got. He's physical, and it's on every play. Like when you watched Braden Willis at Oklahoma, he was just a tenacious blocker, and he's a pretty good receiver too. So that's why I really like that pick. He was mostly red-shirted. He played some special teams, but didn't get too many snaps. But I still believe in Braden Willis. I think he could be a tight end too. It's better than Cam Latu. Okay, back to the draft. Lowe said he wanted to see some tackles. Who's left at tackle? I think I watched Rosen. Who have I watched out of this group? Okay, Isaiah Adams out of Illinois. He gave up 9 sacks in 20 hurries. I wrote that dude's a guard. So Isaiah Adams might be a more productive guard. I think he might be the only guy I watched this far. Oh no, I watched Laumea, who had his best season at guard. He moves pretty well. whiffed on a few blocks. Well, he's a Utah guy. I watched him against Washington. Whiffed on a couple blocks, but he's a good puller. He's got ability to block in the space. So I think Laumea, he profiles more as a guard. But at this point, actually, that it's not a bad pick. At this point, fourth round, if I think you're a good guard at the NFL level, I kind of like the sound of Laumea, to be honest. Okay. I'm leaning Laumea. I think he translates to be a solid guard at the next level. That's where I'm going to go. We're solidifying this O-line. The tackles, again, I think we kind of missed out on tackle. Yeah, like I've said, Blake Fisher in the second round is probably that. If you don't get up and move into the top 20 to get one of those elite tackles, I mean, and top 20 isn't going to get you Fuaga. It's not going to get you, Joe Alt. But can it get you Fatanu at pick 20, moving up to pick 20, get a Fatanu, get an Armarius Mims who has a sky-high ceiling? Like, I like the sound of that. But if you don't do that, then, I mean, the tackles don't look that good to me. They just don't. Joe Alt, Fashanu, Fuaga, Latham, Mims, Fatanu. And then there's a drop-off. There's a big drop-off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 tackles that I think are day one upgrades over Colton McKivitz. There's 6. If you don't get one of those 6, you're not upgrading from Colton McKivitz, at least not this year. Maybe a project guy can pan out later on down the road. But there's 6 tackles that I think are upgrades to Colton McKivitz. And I'm not sure any of them even make it to 31. Not sure any of them make it to 31. That's Alt, Fashanu, Fuaga, Latham, Mims, Fatanu. Like maybe Fatanu because he's a little bit smaller. But, I mean, he measured well at the combine. Like the arm length was better than expected. I really like Fatanu. And the thing with Fatanu is it's like you get 2 swings at it with him because I think he can play tackle, but if it doesn't work at tackle, I'm confident he's going to be a really good guard. So kind of there's a floor there with Fatanu. That's the thing. Yeah. After those 6, like give me Blake Fisher in the second round. That's what sounds best to me. If you miss out on those 6, give me Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame. Niners have went down that Notre Dame pipeline before to get offensive linemen, McGlinchey, Aaron Banks. So that's the thing. That's why. Anyway, we have bolstered. We didn't go first round tackle, but we did get the center, Frazier, in the first round. We just took another tackle who I think is going to be a guard. So we're trying to bolster that. Well, we're taking him right here, Laumea. I like Laumea. They got him at tackle. I think he's a guard. These are those comp picks that the Niners are so good at pumping out. I'm almost tempted to take this tight end at the top of the board. Let me know. What do you guys know about Eric Gall? Because I don't know a ton. I haven't gotten to tight end yet. Chat's live. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Hit that like. Thoughts on Jags reporter saying BA agent is shopping around and is interested in a deal. 187. I feel like it's hard to believe. feel like that's hard to believe right now. Here's the thing, when the season ended and BA's like, I'm gonna do what's best for me, and his family's saying like this might be the last time we're going to Levi Stadium. It's almost like he's just kind of copying the Debo Samuel saga, right? Family members kind of throwing out some disgruntled Instagram posts or whatever it is. It's just kind of felt eerily similar to what Debo kind of did, with his free agent offseason. So I'm not giving it a lot of credence to answer your question, 187. I think BA is going to be here to stay. Who's the best dressed on the Niners? Trent Williams. Trent Williams. Honestly, if they do move Ayuk for a top 17 pick, I'm grabbing my tackle at 31. I'm moving up and getting Powers Johnson at center. Ayupati and Anthony Davis all over. I need our O-line dominant. Yo, I love that Ayupati draft pick when the Niners made it. Ayupati, he made this block that just there's a certain block that when offensive linemen make it, it's just I don't know, kind of it boosts them up at least around on my draft board. And it's this block. It's like it's when you're blocking one guy, right? You're locked on, you're not getting pushed back, right? You're locking down this guy. And then there's a blitzer or there's someone else coming in a gap right next to you. And you have the ability to not only stay on the block you're currently holding, hold that block, but now the blitzer's coming. And then you come out, you make a second block, and you're blocking two guys at the same time. I love it when offensive linemen make that block. And Upati did it. And that's when I was like, okay, this dude Upati's different. Like he's got a different strength ability when you're blocking two different guys, one on each hand. So I love it. I was a big fan of Upati. Anthony Davis had his moments. Short career, but Anthony Davis had his moments. 805 said, I'd flip BA for 17. Man. I feel like 17, though, like the premier, I mean, there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. But the premier guys are going to all be gone. Marvin Harrison, Odunze, Neighbors, like those dudes are going to be gone. Like the guys that you can lock in as wide receiver ones, right? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, 805. It's a no from me, dog. But let me know, who'd you take? Who you taking at 17, though, 805? I'm just going to slap the franchise tag on Ayuk after this year. Low. I'm one who mentions that, where teams got that franchise tag in the back pocket, but you don't see the tag go out as much. Who got tagged? Did T. Higgins get tagged? I mean, tags are used, but the players hate it. That's the thing. Players freaking hate the tag. Like, you tag a guy, and he's pissed. It's a negotiation play by BA's agent. I agree, Khalil. I agree. Too much smoke. Did Debo agent look for offers like this? It's one thing to get calls, but to seek offers is weird. Okay, so 187 he's getting a different vibe. Remember when people laughed at Dallas taking Zach Martin and like 10 Pro Bowls later they're laughing back? Yeah, Dallas had a strong O-line there, a few years ago. Yeah, I want that kid from UCLA Edge. Yeah, talking Latu. Yeah, Latu's special. If Latu gets into the 20s, you gotta make a trade up. You gotta make some calls. No way. Kyle doesn't trust Wookiee wide receiver. Did y'all forget? I feel you. So he might be poo-pooing my Xavier Worthy prediction. I don't know. Remember, Kyle's tight with the Texas head coach, Steve Sarkisian. So Sark might have gassed up Worthy, and then you go and run a 4.21, fastest ever at the combine. I know Shanahan likes speed. Latu, if he's available at 17. Oh, okay, that's all right. Hey, man, BA for Latu. Man, oh man. But that leaves us with a void at wide receiver, 805. That leaves us with a void. Hmm. So now you got Debo, like Jawan's your wide receiver too. Oh, you know who? Yo, man, see, y'all already took a wide receiver. You know who? Luke McCaffrey. Niners drafting Luke McCaffrey. It's happening. It's happening. Luke McCaffrey's coming. Probably like round 5. Little slot guy, kind of little Julian Edelman kind of hype, little shifty. Put him in the slot, give him a two-way go. He's got the footwork, and Luke McCaffrey hasn't played a ton of wide receiver. He was out of high school. He was a quarterback, but he transferred to Rice. He was a big time player. Big time player. I watched film on all the 49ers players with the family ties, right? Brendan Rice, Luke McCaffrey, Frank Gore Jr. I watched all those guys. Hey, Brandon Rice looks good, dude. Brandon Rice looks good. But I liked what I saw from Luke McCaffrey, and I think Christian's gonna kind of make that happen. We did already take Leggett, but Luke McCaffrey's still here. Okay, I'm gonna take this tight end, Eric All, because I like Iowa tight ends, and I think the Niners do have a bit of a need for a tight end. Let's see. Seeing if anyone jumps out at me here. Chat, we're in round 5 of this mock draft. Let me know if you guys see someone who jumps out at you guys. This might be Luke McCaffrey territory. We might be in Luke McCaffrey territory here. We're not trading BA, period. I tend to agree with you, Ricky and friends. I tend to agree with you. If it's Latu or Fuaga. Latu or Fuaga. Give me Fuaga. Give me Fuaga. Because I think it's like, I've been saying best player available, but I really like both of those prospects. And Fuaga comes at more of a need position. And Latu, I know he's had some injury history. Okay, the draft board is invisible. Thank you, Los. Thank you. Let's pull that up here. Okay. Let me know if anyone's jumping out at you guys. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards just taking McCaffrey, getting the family ties. Because I just think it's going to happen. I just think it's going to happen. Yeah. Hey, chat's live. Appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. Ricky and Friends wants to do a mock draft every week. Hey, I like the sound of that, man. The NFL draft season is a fun time of year. I look forward to kind of diving in on these prospects, learning about them. During the college football season, like I'm watching the bowl games and I'm watching some college football, but as a father of 2, as a husband, I'm on the couch watching NFL on Sunday, right? For for like 10 hours. Let's be real. And then I'm doing shows in the post game. So it's like Sunday, I'm watching ball. So Saturday is my family day, right? I got to spend time with the fam, play with the kids. So, but Sundays I'm locked in. So what I'm getting at is I learn about a lot of these prospects after the college football season's over. Unless they're playing for the big schools and they're in the bowl games, and I'm watching those. So I'll learn about kind of the prestigious school guys. But post draft, this is when I dive in. I'm watching film. I'm catching up on just the draft prospects, and it's fun. It's been something I've done for quite a while now, many years, Probably, I mean, since I was in high school. We're talking 2006, 2007. Yeah, you guys want to do some mocks? 805 says JP Mason's better. Okay, let's get the ball rolling on this mock, huh? So, okay, we're going Luke McCaffrey. No, I think. Oh no, dude, we just missed Luke McCaffrey. We just missed him by one pick. Yo, damn, y'all missed out. No Luke McCaffrey. Christian's gonna be so pissed. Okay. Hey, you got to pivot. Don't panic. Pivot. Don't panic. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not gonna lie, I'm panicking. Luke McCaffrey was supposed to be a Niner. Christian's so pissed at me right now. Love Joe Milton. Very intriguing. I know he's got a cannon. I know dude's got a cannon. Let's see what the chat's saying. See what the chat's saying. I know JP Mason gets no love. I mean, all he does is when he gets the rock is he averages 5 yards a clip. Like JP Mason's awesome. No touches. Okay. Let's keep it moving on this mock. All right. So I don't think we need a running back. Let's check out this corner, Ryan Watts. I feel like you can't have enough corners. What's his story? So he's 6'3". It's a long corner. The run defense is there. He plays the run. Solomon Byrd. I remember just watching some USC tape. This guy stood out. 7 sacks. He's good against the run. He's good against the pass. Solomon Byrd. Where's he at on my edge list? PFF doesn't have him as a top 20 edge. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, let's check him out, Los. North Dakota State. So he was a dominant pass blocker. When you're looking at North Dakota State, you got to remember who they're playing against, right? Like, let's look at his grades by game. Not too many prominent schools that he matched up against. But he dominated. That's one thing you want to see. Do you dominate that lower level of competition? And He had 3 years of good grades, according to PFF. Only gave up 1 sack in 2023 and 878 offensive snaps. That's 406 pass blocking snaps and only 8 hurries. Hey, Los, kind of like where your head's at. Kind of like where your head's at. Hey, at this late in the draft, let's bring in a tackle. Let's see how big he is. 6'5", 300 pounds. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Los. Bring in another tackle. Hey, we're building that depth because Jalen Moore, I think he's kind of had his chance. Might be time to get some new blood in there, like Nick Sakel. I know you're Purdy's boy, but you've kind of had your chance being a backup. Like, hasn't quite seized it, right? Might be time to bring in some new blood. And again, the Niners have too many picks. Like, I don't think they're going to take all these. Well, they traded one for Malik Collins, but wouldn't be surprised if they did move up somewhere. Might not be in the first round, like we all hope, but trading up into the third round, kind of consolidating these fourth and fifth round picks to move up. I could see something like that. Move up in the mid rounds. I feel like Jason McClellan is I've seen him at Alabama make some noise. We're good on center. We took our center round 1. Ooh, ooh. I'm not walking out of this draft without. Oh, shoot. Is he gone already? Damn. Are you serious? Fabian. Yo. Dude, Fabian's already gone? No way. I thought he's like a 6th or 7th round pick on here. I'm talking about Fabian Levette out of Florida State, the D tackle. I mean, I need to do more drafts on here. Like, how do I sort this? I need to know where the hell Fabian Levette went. Because this dude, Fabian Levette, the D tackle out of Florida State, I want to say he started his career at Georgia and then transferred, but this dude's a run stuffer. He was reminding me of Akeem Hicks, just in almost like the way his body's built and his strength and his nastiness was just kind of giving me flashbacks of Akeem Hicks. And Akeem Hicks was a freaking awesome player in the NFL for a long time. So if I'm seeing that and you're projected to go around 5, 6, that's intriguing to me. But looks like he's gone already. But I really like Fabian Levette, the big boy run stuffer of a D tackle. I'm just confused. I thought he was a late round guy, but I'm not seeing him. Not seeing him. Oh, Shardo, why are you getting worked up? Jalen Green. Yeah, Jalen Green. I heard that name. He's a shooting guard on the Rockets. Hey, you probably heard about him, Los, because he had 18 sacks. That's some production. Pass rush grade 89.6. Jalen Green. No, I didn't get to him yet. I scouted edge. I scouted 20 edge guys. So I didn't get to Jalen Green. Let's see his first look. So, okay. It looks like he's going to be one of these smaller kind of pass rushers. the bottom line, Green comes in a compact build that limits where you can play him as an edge rusher, but he's a feisty player, consistently plays with good natural leverage. You don't want to make a living betting on size outliers, but pending a recovery from knee surgery, he can be a good depth player. Sounds like a situational pass rusher, which right now doesn't sound too bad. Let's see what's Josh Wallace's business. 6', 190. Michigan, obviously we know they were a good team. This guy plays the run. He was good in coverage. He's 6 foot. I like the measure. I like what I'm just seeing from Josh Wallace. Not that I've studied him at this point, but we're late in the draft. I think I like what I'm seeing from Josh Wallace. I'm going there. I'm going there. And then we got another pick here. I know Love said, how'd you miss him? Oh no, I mean I'm going. So what I did, Los, I need a list to kind of start off my evaluation of players, right? So I just get the top 20 players off PFF, their rankings, their big board, and then I watch the film on those guys, and then I'll adjust it from there. But I kind of start off with PFF kind of as my baseline and watch the players from there. So if they have a player way down on their list, then I might not get to him. That's the thing. So I haven't gotten to that guy out of James Madison. I mean, a safety. Could we use a depth safety? What's Omar Brown's? A depth. I think you're always looking for depth at safety. Kind of like the sound of that. Let's take the safety. Okay, round sev. Round sev. I'm just pissed I missed on my boy Fabian Lovett. That's my guy. It's my late round guy. Okay, here, yeah, you know what? Let's take the ultra productive pass rusher. PFF. Let's see what they think of my draft. Dang, they didn't like my Eric All pick. Overall draft B-. It was a B-. Okay, they liked the audience's Xavier Legette pick in the second. That's the thing about our first round pick. No one slipped to us that made me kind of like snap my fingers like that's an automatic pick. But we went with locking down that center position. Listen, they don't like my Dwayne Carter pick in the third round. They gave me a C-. I love the pick. That was my pick. I like Dwayne Carter. A Boyd B, Laumea, Eric All. To be honest, I don't know much about. Just kind of felt Iowa tight end. Kind of feels like we need some juice at tight end. We definitely tried to bolster the O-line, going center, grabbing 2 more offensive linemen later in the 4th and the 5th. Oh, Chardal was worked up because I missed out on Fabian Lovett. Yeah, I know. Man, I really wanted to draft him. Hey, fellas, damn, we've been live for a minute. This was definitely late night baller talk. I appreciate all you guys who stopped by. This chat was live. A bunch of you were rocking with me this whole show, and that's awesome. That makes me want to do this again here soon. So I appreciate all of you. Let's go full screen. Because, hey, man, it's a fun time of year, right? NFL offseason, as much fun as the regular season is, and the offseason is a lot of fun too. The draft's around the corner. I'm going to keep watching these prospects, learning about them. So I'll come back. Today I hit on my offensive tackles, the edge prospects, the corners. Those are the three positions I've really kind of hit hard so far. Next up, I'm gonna hit defensive tackle, kind of get to know these defensive tackle prospects, and then I'll probably do interior O line. But the Niners did a good job of kind of patching some of these holes, right, in free agency. Like they had a need at D line with a bunch of free agents, and they've made some moves. They've signed, well, at least 4 defensive linemen, the 2 tackles, Leonard Floyd, Gross Matos. Like they're making moves on the D line, so it's not a blatant, obvious need. So we'll see what they do. I'm gonna keep watching this film. We'll be back to talk ball, but hey, appreciate all you guys. You guys have a good rest of your night and a good weekend. Catch y'all next time.